A couple of years ago, my mum called me up in tears. She was in pain every single day. Even simple movements like getting in and out of a car or bending down to pick something up would send her back into an excruciating spasm. She felt like she'd tried everything and nothing seemed to work until I gave her this routine. In this video, I'm going to share exactly what I gave her, which was the simple routine that got her life back. My mum had suffered with intermittent back pain for over 10 years, but this time it was much worse. It had come out of the blue and it was stopping her from walking, from gardening, and even from being comfortable when she sat down at work. She had tried stretches, she'd tried heat packs, and she'd even gone to the local physio, but none of it had helped. It was having a serious impact on her mobility, her confidence, and even her mental health. So she took the trip down south to see me at my clinic. Now, the routine I gave her took just 10 minutes per day and it was super easy to do. And within just a few weeks, she was noticing changes. Less stiffness, less pain, and those spasms had become a thing of the past. So let me show you exactly what I gave her step by step. So here are the exercises I use to help my mum get out of pain. Now, before I show you them, if you've got back pain right now, I need to tell you that not all of these are going to be suitable for everyone watching. So do get checked out before you try them and avoid any that cause you pain. The first exercise is something called knee rolls, and it's a lovely exercise for improving the mobility of your spine. It's actually one of the exercises I teach in my book, Thriving Beyond 50, for people with back pain. I've got loads more back pain exercises in here, so if you're enjoying this video, consider picking up a copy. There's a link below the video in the description box if you're interested. Let me show you the exercise now. So what you need to do is lie down on your back on a mat or a bed, whichever is most comfortable for you, with your head and your shoulders supported. You're just going to gently flatten your lower back down into the bed. You've got your knees bent up about halfway, and then we're just going to allow both knees to roll over to one side as far as you feel you can go, and then come back to the center. It's such an easy, gentle movement, but this is enough to often free up some spinal movement for people suffering with back pain. It worked really, really well for my mum, but we didn't actually start doing it at this kind of range of motion. We did about half the movement to begin with, because you need to train the brain that movement is safe, and to do that, the movements have to be small. So what we started with was just this. So just slowly rotating, probably 6 inches to the right, 6 inches to the left, bringing it gently back to the center each time and not rushing it at all. We probably did 20 reps on each side and then had a break and then repeated 3 or 4 times. And I reckon she did that every day for at least 6 weeks. Now, it took about 2 to 3 weeks before she started to notice a change, but as time went on, her rotation, her spinal rotation here did get better. She got more range of motion as that muscle started to let go, and it reduced the frequency of those spasms. Let's have a look at the second exercise I gave her now. The second exercise we used to help my mum was the seated forward flexion. And I reckon this has to be the most underrated back pain exercise of all time. And it's so underrated because people look at it and go, it's such a small movement, how can this help? Well, let me show you it first and then I'll explain how it works. So you just need a nice firm chair to sit on. Dining room chair works really, really well. And you want to be sitting with your hip at about 90 degrees, knee at about 90 degrees, and your feet flat on the floor. Spread your legs slightly further apart than feels natural. Now, all you're going to do here is put your hands on your legs. You can actually take a bit of weight through your hands if you're suffering quite a lot with your back. And you're just going to start from the top of your spine, so right from the top of the neck, and just bend forward, slowly running your hands down your legs. Now, I'm going to show you the full movement, which takes you all the way down to the floor. You're going to go right down to your feet, take a nice deep breath, and as you breathe out, try and get another inch or so forward. You should feel possibly a little bit of a stretch in your back. Just allow your back to relax and then use your hands to help you back up to the starting position. Now that's the full range of motion, but when we started with my mum, she could only go down to about there before her back got really tight. So she stopped and came back up. She started super small, going as slowly as possible and stopping at the first signs of any pain. And then as the back started to relax, she could go further and further and further until after a week or two, she was right down to the floor. Now, one of the reasons this works so well is because it calms the central nervous system. It basically shows your body and your brain that it's safe to move. And movement for people with back pain, 99% of the time, is totally safe, but your brain almost doesn't believe it. So you have to prove it to your brain that it's safe to bend forward. That's why you stop before you get the spasm, before you get pain, and come back up. But if you keep just going right to the edge of your range of motion, then coming back, eventually that range of motion increases and you can do more and more. I recommend doing 5 of these in a row, 3 or 4 times per day, or whenever the back starts to feel a little bit tight, and that works super well for my mum. The final exercise I gave my mum was the clam. And the reason the clam is so important for her is because when I first assessed her, her glutes were really weak. And if you've got weak glutes, you basically don't have any protection for your lower back muscles, because the glutes and the lower back, they work as a team. So if the glutes are weak, the lower back has to do twice the work. And weak glutes is a big cause of back pain in the population I treat. The clam is one of the best ways to re-strengthen them. So here's how it works. You basically just need a mat or a bed, and you're going to lie down on your side with the side to be worked at the top. So you start off like this. You can support your head in your hand, put the top hand on the bed like this, and just roll your body slightly further forward than feels natural. So you feel like a bit of an awkward position to begin with, and that's exactly how you should be. Now you're going to bend your hips and your knees to about 90 degrees, keep your feet together, and without moving any other part of your body, just lift that top knee up towards the ceiling. Go as high as you can without rolling back, and then slowly lower the leg. And the clam works super well because it activates your gluteus medius and minimus, which are the smaller glutes at the back of the hip. And they're very, very closely linked to back pain. And there's research that shows weakness in the gluteus medius muscle, particularly, is associated with much higher risk of back pain than just about any other muscle in the body. Now with this exercise, you're going to keep that strict form. Don't move any other part of your body other than the top leg. And if the movement looks very small to you, that's a good thing, because most people, when they do it, they cheat. They roll back to make the movement bigger. That just takes the emphasis off the target muscle entirely. So you're going to keep doing that exercise until you start to get a working ache just below the belt line, definitely not above it, because if you feel it above it, that's your back kicking in. We want to be using just the glutes below the belt line. Keep doing it until it starts to feel a bit achy. Have a break. Do a couple of sets of that, maybe all together or spread throughout the day. Either works really well. And that great combination really released the tension in my mum's back and helped her move again with freedom. If you're over 50 and struggling with back pain, I want you to know that it's not too late. My mum thought she was going to have to suffer with her back problem for life, but with a few simple exercises, the problem resolved. Now, hopefully the routine in this video is going to help you. If you found it useful, do drop a comment below and let us know, and we can't wait to see you again on the next video.